Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video, and I'm going to talk about some newly shown Transformers Studio Series figures from Hasbro. There are official images now for a lot of the figures coming up that we've seen at toy events. We've even seen some official images of some of these. Now we're getting all the official images, like the whole slew, in package, vehicle mode, robot mode, different angles of robot mode, different backdrops, the whole bit. So we're really getting a full look at the new figures. I mainly want to discuss Megatron because this is the one where we're getting the most new images for, because Megatron, although we've seen him on display with the cloak, it's very hard to get a good look at him, and we've never had a single official image for him before. Well, everybody else we've at least had one official image of, so there's definitely a lot more to discuss here with Megatron. However, I will discuss the rest, and the rest being the new Voyager series, Optimus Prime and Bonecrusher, and then the new Leader series, which is Megatron and Jetfire. So before I discuss Megatron, just going through some of the others. Jetfire, in package, he looks quite nice. As you can see, he's a leader class. Like I've mentioned before, I think the face sculpt is just too big. It's a good face sculpt. I actually like it quite a bit, but it's just a little too big. I wish that it was shrunk down a little bit. And I do not have the Jetfire from Revenge of the Fallen. It's one of the few characters I don't have at least one representation of from any of the movies. So this is a figure I absolutely want. Just mainly because of that. I've never been a big fan of his character, but I've always wanted a figure of him. Design-wise, I think this one looks really cool. Articulation looks good. The wrists look a little long. Shrink the head a little bit and reduce the joint on the wrist, and you've got yourself a perfect-looking figure, in my opinion. Overall, though, it looks really cool. The backdrop he comes with is the war zone on Revenge of the Fallen in Egypt, so I think that's nice. Very cool. Yeah, good head sculpt, just a little too big. And then the vehicle mode looks good. Looks like you got a lot of kibble at the bottom, but it's such a streamlined jet that it would be really hard not to have the kibble. So I don't have an issue with that. But the jet does look good. As you can see, even from the side, it's a little more concise. It's not too bad. It's the head that is the biggest standout part, especially with the silver on it. So had they shrunk the head, it would look even better in vehicle mode as well. This is a big thing. We've seen this on display before, but we haven't seen an official image of it. This is the best image we have, and this is the combined mode between that new Jetfire and the new Optimus Prime, which is cool. This one looks good. I will say that the combined mode of the Revenge of the Fallen ones looked better. It absolutely looked better. I don't think this is an improvement, to be honest. I think this is a downgrade, but it looks good. You know, there's not much with the arms, which is my big issue, is that he's got a nice big jet backpack, he's got the shoulder pads, he's got the extended feet, but he doesn't have any extra things on the arms, which is a big issue. I'm hoping that maybe there's something that you can kind of do to bulk up the arms a little bit, even if it's not meant to happen, because otherwise this very much looks like Optimus Prime just jumped into like an accessory piece, rather than it being like a combined mode with him and Jetfire. So that's my big issue with it. I do plan to get both of the figures. I'll absolutely transform it to see it and mess around with it, but it's not one of those things that I'll need to buy like two of both figures for. Optimus, to be honest, I don't really want. So if I was going to do that, I'd buy two Jetfires and the one Optimus. But I don't think that I'm going to need it. It doesn't look that impressive, to be honest. I'm glad they can do it. It just doesn't look that impressive, unfortunately, because that would have been really exciting for me. The new Optimus is basically the one based off of the movie 1 version. I like the bulk on the torso. Some of the new Optimus figures, especially the Voyager ones, have had thinner torsos, or thinner waists at least. This one bulks it up a bit more, gives it more of a squarish appearance, which I think is nice. It's different at least. But again, I just have so many Optimus Primes that not a ton new here, nothing to get excited for. His backdrop, though, is the freeway where he has the battle with this guy. But going over his vehicle mode, it looks pretty good. The smokestack stacks are way too small, though. Wish that they were up a bit more. Even if they just like extended out, that would be really nice. But we've had a million versions of him. Bonecrusher, I've talked about Bonecrusher before. I'm excited for Bonecrusher. I've always wanted a new one since the deluxe one, because the deluxe one is great except for the arms. Everything else about it, though, is perfect, but the arms are just really not good. They just look like car pieces, and they don't look anything similar to the movie. The hands are weird. I've never been into it. As you can see, he's I don't know how big this Voyager is going to be. It looks like he'll probably be somewhere he'll be a small Voyager, it looks like, because as you can see, he is really small in the package. Like, I don't know why why they didn't fold the claw down and move him way up in the package, because the picture like completely overshadows the figure. Weird. It's odd design choice package-wise. But the figure does look nice. It fixes the arm problem, which is great. The legs and the torso look just as good as the original one. The claw looks a little less intense, so we'll see if the claw's any better. It doesn't look better, though. It looks a little less, to be honest. But he's a better size, which is nice. This is going to be a cool figure. I'm excited for it just because I love Decepticons, especially movie 1 Decepticons. But I do have that new Dream Factory Bonecrusher coming. I did order it, so I'm incredibly excited for that one. That one is going to be like 5 times the size of this one and a lot better in general. But nonetheless, I am excited for this one, simply to just put it in with the rest of my Decepticons so that they'll be all in scale with each other. Face sculpt looks really nice. Close up on the hands, much more accurate. And then the vehicle mode looks pretty decent, you know, nothing. They did a great job the first time, too. It looks like the exact same backdrop as Optimus. Then we have Megatron. This is the one that, you know, really deserves a lot of talking for. Megatron here looks really interesting. This is a leader class version, which is nice. I'm glad we're finally getting a leader version of him. What you get with him, the little Igor pet that he comes with, I think is fun. Unnecessary, super unnecessary, but I think it's really fun. He comes with the standard blaster that he uses in the movie, but then he also comes with this, like, smaller blaster piece. I don't know what that is. If that's supposed to, like, attach onto the blaster and make another blaster, or if it's supposed to be some kind of like small rifle. I'm not sure because he doesn't use anything like that in the movie. As far as the legs are concerned, he's too bulky at the bottom section of his legs, and then the top section is just too thin. When he's standing, though, like straight on, it doesn't look like an issue, but when you really can see the side, the bulk proportions are a little off. The arms look great. I love the hand sculpts. I think they look really nice. The cloak, I think, looks really cheap, to be honest. I'm glad that they went with fabric, but it just didn't come out well. Either you got to use like a higher quality fabric, which will hang better, or do what you did with the Voyager one, where you gave him that soft rubber one to place on that was fitted, and that actually worked really great. So I would have preferred that if they couldn't afford a better cloth. Unfortunately, though, we don't have it. But I'm okay because I'll probably display my Voyager one with the cloak on and this one without. So I get both looks and I get the best of both worlds, kind of. So I'm happy about that. There's a look of him without the cloak, which I've been dying to see forever because the cloak has been hiding a lot of the figure. Now, without the cloak on, I think this looks really nice. The Voyager one, I really like the Voyager figure, actually. I think it's pretty nice, but it misses the mark when it comes to the bulk proportions. It's a great looking, like, skinny version of Megatron. It's too skinny, though. This one is a lot better bulk-wise. As you can see, the legs from straight on don't look terrible. You definitely can see that they should be bulkier around the thighs and the knees. But nonetheless, they still look decent. The arms just look great. They're well proportioned bulk-wise. I think they look good. And then the torso is nice and bulky. It's rounded. The last one was flat. This one's a nice rounded section, and it has the chains that wrap around it, which is accurate to the film, which I think is really cool. And as you can see, you can kind of put Igor on his head. And there's a closer look at Igor and his face sculpt. The face sculpt's decent. Oh, well, here's the thing. The sculpt is really nice. The paint is a little lacking. I find the paint to be quite simple on him. I think this figure with a better paint scheme would look really amazing. With the paint scheme that it has now, it's a little underwhelming just at first glance, but I think that the sculpt itself is good enough to make the figure quite nice, in my opinion. So would have liked some better paint, especially around that face, because the paint on him is very blocky, it seems. The paint's very blocky. You have like just this cream color that is just on the top of some sections, and it's not mixed very well. The best mixing portion of him is the lower legs. You got a nice mix of the cream, the tan, and the gray. You have a nice mix there, but otherwise, everywhere else, it's just you have a section of tan, a section of dark gray, and a section of cream, and you know, you got a section of cream, you have the intersections gray, and then you have the torso is the tan. I don't like the way that it's been mixed. It's not mixed very well. It's very blocky, which is a shame, and that's something that Hasbro does a lot, and it's such an easy fix. It really is. His backdrop is the Africa scene, which I think is cool. Obviously, they could choose Chicago or Africa. The only time where this character is cool is in Africa, basically, because he's kind of worthless in this movie, unfortunately. But I think that it is nice that he comes with the African backdrop. I do like this version of Megatron. The movie 1 Megatron I've never really liked. I've started to like it a little bit more nowadays, to be quite honest, but at the time I didn't like it. And for a while, this was my favorite look for Megatron. I really like the night one, although it's very specific to Transformers 5, and I really dislike Transformers 5, so that dings it down a bit, unfortunately, too. But overall, I think this is a nice figure, and it's great to get another leader, Megatron, because the first two movie leader Megatrons are disappointing and lacking articulation, so to have a well-articulated new one is really great, so that's cool. Closer image there. And vehicle mode, I think, looks awesome. I think the vehicle mode is really cool. That's the spikes they really nailed this time, which is great. So yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts on the new figures coming out, especially Megatron, considering this is the first time we're seeing good images of him. I'm really excited for all of these. I plan to pick them all up. Well, here's the thing. To be quite honest, if I can do that merging Optimus Prime and Jetfire together with the original one that came out in the studio series from Revenge of the Fallen, you know, that would make sense, right? Then I won't buy the Optimus, because I don't need the Optimus. The only reason I'll buy him is if that figure is absolutely crucial in doing that combining mode. So that'll depend on whether I buy him or not. Bonecrusher, Megatron, and Jetfire, I absolutely plan to get all three of them, and I am quite excited for all three of them, to be honest. So let me know what you guys think of the new, better images for these four figures, and thanks so much for watching.